All right, folks. Woo! Days be one of them days, folks. Days be one of them days. I got a phone call last week from a buddy of mine from back in the day. He said, Lonzo, I'm only going to do your show and nobody else's. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And nobody do it like we do. Every Tuesday, y'all, me and Dusty. We're going to make it happen today, folks. Stick around. Get your history books out. It's about to go down. Dusty, where you at? I see you.
My man. What's up, dude?
Oh, man, look here, Doc. Sometimes things just fall in your lap when you treat people right. Last week, I was riding around taking care of some miscellaneous business. I got a phone call from another gentleman we did an interview with, Gary Ballard, who is Jerry Heller's cousin. He says, man, guess who wants to be on your show? And I'm like, who? He said, Mike Klein. And most of y'all may not know who Mike Klein is, okay? Mike Klein is a serious dude. In fact, he won't be on camera, folks. I'm gonna call him. I got his number. I'm gonna give him a call. And he says, man, Lonzo, I've been watching your show. People send me your links. You got everything right except for my boots. I wore cowboy boots as opposed to the combat boots. I knew it was something different about his shoes, but hey, man, it was a long time ago. He agreed to come on the show today, but he won't be on camera. I'm gonna call him. We're gonna talk to him in just a few minutes, if not less, because this is gonna be a hot show, folks. So relax. Whatever you got to go do it. Wherever if you got to eat fast. He's got some things he's gonna drop on the chat room. He's gonna drop on us today. That is some serious information, man. I mean, it's amazing how things have changed, and he'll tell you more about that. I'm not gonna get into that right there, but he'll tell you all about it. Dusty, what you got for me right quick, man, before we go get Mike?
Man, I'm just excited about this show, man. I mean, there's a lot to discuss, but I think we should just jump right into it. We've talked about this gentleman a couple of times on our show, and the fact that I can't find one interview on him, one podcast interview, I just want everybody to know this is an exclusive. I can't find barely find a picture of this dude.
I looked for a picture. He sent me a picture for our post, but there's no pictures on the images. I typed in his name, various spellings. It's not going to happen, dude. But it's all good because. So
to give everybody really quick an idea and kind of get you excited, this is the gentleman who Jerry Heller not allegedly hired to keep Suge Knight away when Suge Knight was causing terror, showing up to Ruthless Records office and things like that. This is the guy that made Suge Knight stand down. So he has some stories. Comment in the comment section if you have any questions. I got a bunch of questions. I posted that in our communities earlier today, so I'm ready to rock, man.
All right, he just hit me up. He's ready to do the interview, folks. I'm calling him up right now. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Hello,
Mike Klein.
I'm here, buddy.
How you doing today, Doc?
I'm doing good. How are you, Alonzo?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. We just talking you up a few minutes ago to our audience. Folks have been asking about you for years. I did the best I could. Like I said, like I just told them, it was 35 years ago. So I forgot a few things. It wasn't combat boots. It was cowboy boots. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have you.
Mike had the combat boots.
Mike had, right. The big dude you had in the lobby that before you opened, he was actually the doorman. He was so damn big. He should have been on somebody's line, been a linebacker, but he was a good dude.
He did. He played for San Francisco and Minnesota.
Okay, I believe that because he's a big son of a bitch. Okay, but he was cool.
300 pounds of muscle.
Big dude, big human being. Okay, Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm good, buddy. It's been a long time, Alonzo.
Yes, it has. I'm glad you came up. I'm glad you called me. I was surprised when Gary gave me the call, said you wanted to be on the show. What made you want to come on the show, man? I'm just curious. I'm curious to hear the story.
There's so many videos out there and so many misconceptions. I thought if I was going to do this, I'd do it with you. I don't know these other people, but everybody out there talks about me like they know me and they know nothing about me.
I appreciate it, Doc. Good looking out. My man here, I got a co-host with me. We call him Dusty Vision. He's a hip-hop enthusiast extraordinaire. And he's been hosting the show with me for the last few years. He helped me do everything. So he got some questions for you. The chat room got questions for you. But before we get into that, man, tell us what you're doing right now, man.
Well, you know, I'm obviously before Ruthless, I was a businessman. I'm still a businessman. I develop real estate, and I'm a CEO of a company that makes water out of the atmosphere. So I own this company that generates water out of the atmosphere, and I protect some of the wealthiest people in the world.
Oh, you still in the security business, huh?
Oh, I've been doing that for a long time.
Now, I read an article just the other day, and Jerry said, I think it was Jerry said, when he first met you, you were holding two severed heads.
Well, we don't need to get into that.
he told me the story long time ago, and I'm saying I just read this recently, and just the fact that you don't want to talk about it lets me know that it's something to it. Anyway, Dusty, you got a question for him?
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. Klein, and thank you so much for joining us today. Can you, before we jump into your days with EAZY and Jerry and things like that, can you give us an idea, tell us, about your life growing up that led into your military training and things like that?
Well, I was brought up in Israel. I think everybody knows that. And I'm a specialist in self-defense and weaponry and that kind of stuff. I taught self-defense. I used to teach karate and boxing. Like I said, my history in Israel will stay history, and I don't like to get into that because it's private and discloses things that I cannot talk about. But anything to do with Ruthless and stuff like that, I'll be more than happy to talk about how it happened, what happened, and there was a lot more involved than just security.
At what point in time did you join the Ruthless family?
It was somewhere about 91, I'd say.
Okay. Was it a particular incident that brought you on board, or you just came in?
Well, Jerry called me because of the situation that he was having with SUGE Knight.
Okay.
What was that conversation like? What did, to the best of your memory, what did he tell you that was going on?
Jerry's known me from the 80s. I happen to have office. I used to own a clothing manufacturing facility, and he had his offices across away from me, and he knew some of my employees, and I got to meet him in the 80s. And he called me, said he had an issue, told me what the issue is, asked if I could help. I said I can. I said if I do help, they have to listen to me and do as I say. I don't listen to anybody or I don't take orders. If they want to do it, they have to do it my way. And both him and EAZY agreed. And that's when I came in to help them first secure the facilities and make sure that we had the proper security in-house. The security that you can see, and there's security that you can't see. And that's the most important one, is the one that you cannot see. Okay?
Mm.
So
yes.
What you see as far as bodyguard is security for inside the location. The security that you don't see that was outside, that nobody's aware of and nobody saw, but that's special type of security.
Interesting.
Ooh. Let me ask you, you mentioned misconceptions earlier. What is the most common misconception or the biggest untruth that you hear out there when you watch these YouTube videos and interviews and things like that with other people?
Well, the misconception, the security was a very small part of it. That was handled very quickly. But then there was the business aspect of the Ruthless record that nobody's aware of. And I was brought in as security, and obviously to do that, obviously I needed to be paid a certain amount of money, and part of it came from Ruthless and part of it came from Jerry. I got a percentage of what Jerry owned, And when I looked at the business structure, I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, the way you have this business structure, you'll never be able to pay me. So we had to change the whole structure of the business. That's what nobody's aware of, what transpired. So when I came in with security, it wasn't just with security, it was with lawyers and legal ramifications. As soon as we got involved, we filed lawsuits against Sony, SUGE, N.W.A, and other people. The release that EAZY signed was nil and void because it was done under duress. And to get somebody to sign a release, there's got to be what's called consideration, if you guys know what that is.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so consideration means I can't come and take your car away from you and say, give me your car, and now it's mine. Unless I pay you something for it,
okay.
That's what's called consideration, okay?
Okay.
And when EAZY signed those releases, there was no what's called consideration, okay?
Okay.
So we immediately sent a letter to everybody in the industry that made it very clear if anybody was to do any business with any artists that are signed to Ruthless Records, they would be sued for interference with contractual agreements. And prior to that, we filed lawsuits. So I set up all the lawyers and set up all the business entities to do what we needed to do. The other issue that we had was Jerry was a good friend and a very nice guy, but he made some serious mistakes when it came to structuring the business. So I don't know if you know the history when they set up distribution ship for Ruthless Records. It was done through Priority Records, Brian Turner.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
I remember that part.
Okay. So Priority Records was the record company. Ruthless Records was nothing but a production company.
Right.
Ruthless Records at that time owned no masters, okay? And when you take 100% of a deal, Ruthless only owned from 16 to 20% of the revenue, with no owning of any master recordings. And you know, the master recordings is what makes the value for the company.
Right.
Okay. So when I got involved, Jerry just redid the same deal with Brian for another 5 years. Okay. So I had to get us out of that deal, and don't ask how I did it. Okay.
Okay.
But I got us out of that deal and then had to renegotiate deals with other entities, which I did them all. The first entity that we were doing a deal with was BMG Pitt Jones. And he was to fly down and sign the deal with us and give us a bunch of money and do a deal. And the night before, he called and said he was not going to be able to do the deal. So we were negotiating with RED, which was a subsidiary of Sony that we ended up doing a deal with. And I was the one that did the deal, where now we owned anywhere from 80 to 84% of the deal, and we owned all the masters. Okay.
Okay.
So Sony through RED distributed us, but now we owned the masters, and we owned 80 to 86% of the deal, depending on the artist.
Okay.
Okay. So nobody's aware of that. And those are all the deals that I made. Nobody else made them. And it was through my connections that we did that.
Now, who did the Atlantic deal for Michelet?
So Michelet was done before I was involved.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Michelet left when Dr. Dre left.
Okay. Now,
And I negotiated within a scope that deal for Dr. Dre and Death Row to move forward. because when we sent the letters out to everybody in the industry telling them that they would be sued if they did anything, Jimmy Irvine from Innisfil called us and told us that he would like to do a deal if we were open to it. And we negotiated a deal. I negotiated it. We got a bunch of money up front, and obviously the rest is history.
Wow.
Like EAZY's song.
Dre Day met Easy's payday.
Correct. And I negotiated all those deals.
Interesting.
That is so cool, man. Wow.
Wow. That was all me.
Wow.
Wow. So even to just say your security you did so much more behind the scenes.
Well, I was security, and then I became the head of business affairs only because of what transpired, and I saw the deal that was there, and obviously I don't come cheap, so I told Jerry for what he would owe me, he wouldn't be able to pay me from the way he structured the deal. But he said, well, we're stuck with the deal. I said, let me take care of it, which I did. And like I said, I got us out of the priority deal. Don't ask how, but I did.
Okay.
And then we entered all these other deals, which we did. And there's other misconceptions in the movie. Eric never fired Jerry. I did. I fired Jerry.
Whoa!
Damn. Drop the bomb.
So Jerry was never fired. Jerry was never fired by EAZY. Me and the lawyer, there was a lawyer that I brought in. His name was Michael Bourbeau. And he dropped the documents. I had EAZY sign them. And we had a messenger, the guy. I don't know if you remember him. His name was Ed. Ed. He was a Spanish guy. He took it and delivered the letter to Jerry. And Jerry was fired not because of anything to do with any money take-ins or any stealing of any money. Eric never had that conversation with him. It never happened. He was fired because he didn't reciprocate something that he should have done. I don't know if you're aware of a gentleman named Shahid Mohammed.
Yes.
Well, Shahid was a dear friend of mine for over 47 years, okay? And Shahid was very instrumental in helping deliver certain messages to certain people for me. And he helped out, and Shahid represented certain artists that wanted to break into the business. And he asked if MC Ren can do a track on one of his albums. And I said yes, EAZY said yes, and Jerry said no. And I said, Jerry, you don't understand how things work out in the street. You can't do that. You know, when somebody helps you, you don't turn your back on them. And Jerry said, I don't give a fuck, he's not doing it. I said, well, Jerry, you got no say in this, okay? And that's why Jerry got fired.
Now, Big Shahid, we talking about Captain Shahid, right?
You're talking about Captain Shahid.
One just passed last year?
Yeah, just passed this year.
Wow, he was my security at Dudo. That's how far back we go.
He's a dear friend of mine. We go back 40 years. I was at his funeral.
Were you?
He's a man's man.
I was there.
Oh, I was there, buddy.
Oh, I was there as well, man.
I was sitting there with the family.
Wow. Man, I got to ask you, man, how is it that somebody from the Jewish community hook up with somebody from the Muslim community? How did that happen?
It's a long story, buddy. Me and Shahid go back 47 years. I helped Shahid. He was on the run for killing some bikers, and he was on the run, and I helped him. I hit him. We took care of him, and he ended up beating the case, but I helped him. I was the only one that helped him back then.
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah, dropping bombs today.
Shaheed was like my brother.
Wow. That man, you just blew me away on that one right there.
Yeah, the Jerry Heller thing.
Many years.
If you just tuning in, let me do a quick PSA. If you're just tuning in, folks, we have an exclusive today with Mike Klein, EAZY's Director of Business Affairs and Security for Ruthless Records, folks. If you don't know who it is, you can't look him up. We tried, Mike. We can't look you up, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm all over the internet. Like I said, I mean, there's people talking about me that don't know nothing about me. There's one guy on video saying that I opened the Ruthless Record in Canada and did all this stuff in Canada.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So we've heard that several times, not to cut you off, Mr. Klein, but we've already got that question 3 times in the chat. Can you talk about that? Because there's a legend out there that there's a suitcase with unreleased music. Yeah, suitcase with unreleased music that disappeared and is now in Canada.
Never. I never opened anything in Canada. My wife's Canadian. That's as far as my relationship with Canada is. I never opened anything in Canada. As a matter of fact, we were interviewed by the FBI regarding that missing suitcase. Somebody took it. It's not me. And I really don't know what happened to it. But I never opened anything in Canada. And it's just like, I mean, there's all these misconceptions that I went and opened some Ruthless records in Canada and diverted all the phone calls to Canada. Never happened. It's a myth.
Wow. It's amazing the kind of stories that can pop up with misinformation.
What did happen, I did put some money into Ruthless, my own money. That I did do.
You opened up what that? I'm sorry.
I did put some money into the record label. I did invest some of my own money into it, which I did. I gave some money to Bone, Thugs and Harmony. They needed some money. It was either Christmas and or Thanksgiving. I don't remember now, but they had no money. They came to me and I gave them a boatload of money in cash.
Wow.
The things that you don't hear if you don't, people don't say that stuff. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Klein? Going back to Straight Outta Compton, which you mentioned earlier, there is a famous scene in the movie where EAZY meets with SUGE and some Bloods in the studio, and they beat him up pretty bad. To the best of your knowledge, did that really happen? Never
happened. EAZY never. Listen, EAZY was a small in stature, but he had a lot of guts, boy. And nobody would have beat him up, and there would have been hell to pay if somebody did. Okay, nobody touched him. Okay, he was put in a situation where he had no choice but to sign some releases, but nobody laid a glove on him. Nobody touched him. That's a myth. The other myth is that EAZY in the movie passed out and fell over. It didn't happen. Actually, what exactly happened was, I don't know if you're aware of who the twins are.
Right, the big Samoan guys.
Ronald and Donald.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John and Jay,
yeah.
And Jake.
Yeah. So they call me when he's in Norwalk, he's with them, and they call me and they said EAZY's having a hard time breathing. I said, well, take him to the hospital. They said, well, he won't go. I said, well, I don't give a fuck. He goes, if he likes it or not, carry him and take him to the hospital. And that's exactly what happened. They took him to the hospital. They took him to Norwalk, and he was diagnosed with bronchitis. And then he was released. I saw him when he got out of the hospital. I came to the house. We talked. And then about a week to 2 weeks later, he was in Cedars-Sinai, and that's where he was diagnosed with AIDS, full-blown AIDS.
So there is a conspiracy out there. I shouldn't use that word because that's a flag word, but what are your thoughts on that whole situation? The misconception, do you believe that the legend is true, or do you believe it's true that EAZY passed away from AIDS, or do you think it was something else?
No, I believe he died from AIDS. I believe he contracted AIDS. I think the irony of it, I think the problem was, by the time, in my opinion, and I tried to get him the best pulmonary doctor out there, but it fell on deaf ears. And I believe that by the time they treated him for what he had, I think it was too late. Okay. But yes, I believe he died of AIDS. I believe he contracted it. I don't believe anybody injected him with it. You know, he had a lot of women, a lot of girlfriends, and, you know, and it could happen. I don't know how he contracted it, but he did, in my opinion, and what I know, and I've seen all the medical records, he died of AIDS.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I saw him at the hospital, you know, until he was in a coma. I was the only people that did see him. The other misconception is that him and Dre talked prior to him dying, which never happened. Last time I saw Dre was at the hospital when he was already unconscious, and it was because my lawyer called David Kenner and said, you better tell Dre to go see him because you might never see him again. And Dre showed up there, and I saw Dre at the hospital, but at that time, EAZY was already unconscious in a coma.
Did Cube make it up there?
I never saw Cube up there when I was there.
What about Yella?
I didn't see Yella when I was up there either.
Yeah. What about Ren?
I didn't see none of them. The only one I saw up there was because we called him was Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I didn't see. It doesn't mean that they weren't up there. It's not when I was up there.
Okay, I get it. What about who did you sign when you were at Rufus? Did you sign any acts at Rufus? As the
I didn't sign anybody. I was there when we signed Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
And after EAZY died, I met a few times with Jimmy Iovine, if you know who he is.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
So Jimmy Iovine asked me who would be somebody good if we wanted to sign from Ruthless, that now they thought Ruthless was going to fall apart and go nowhere. And I suggested to him that he should try and get Will 1X, Will I Am.
Oh, wow.
And he did.
As-Band Clan, right? I think that's what they were first called.
Yeah. I mean, Will used to come to me. He's a sweet guy. He used to rap to me all the time. I used to give him a few dollars here and there, but he was a super guy. Very talented. But I signed nobody myself. I was there when Bones were there, and I was absolutely ecstatic about them. They were very talented, but that came with a lot of baggage. There's a lot of stories there that we can leave to another day.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Shout out to Bone, one of the greatest to ever do it. Real quick, I'm asking everybody to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are just joining us, we are joined with Mike Klein. This is a very, very interesting interview, and we're going to keep it pushing. Please hit that like button because that helps the algorithm. And then share. We want this to go viral. This has to go viral. Any questions, Lonzo, or you want me to pick something from the audience?
I'm listening right now. He said everything.
Okay.
No. Cool.
Well, can you talk to us about some of your guys, Mike, your crew? I know you mentioned, I think it was Mike earlier or something like that.
Well, I can talk to you about my guys that people saw, and that was Mike Tourette and Animal and Robert. Robert recently got in a lot of trouble, and he's in jail for killing his landlord.
Okay.
So we're trying to help him out. But these are good bodyguards if you need bodyguards. But like I said, when it comes to security, there's the element that you see and there's the element that you don't see. And the element that you don't see is a lot more important than the one that you do see.
Now,
that's for damn sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if I said at the beginning, but me and SUGE today are very good friends, and I'm doing his life story and his movie.
Back up.
Maybe
Hold on. Back up. You said you and SUGE are very good friends today?
As a matter of fact, he called me from jail today.
Wow. What did he have to say?
Well, we talked. I told him I'm just getting over COVID, and he's want to know how. Like I said, we're doing his life story, death row, and his life story, and we're doing his movie. We just finished the script, and we're going to be going out there. If you Google it, you'll see it.
Okay. So you executive producer, or you finance, or what's your role?
Well, I guess you can say I was the one that got the rights to it, and then put a team together to put everything together, and now we're got the script done, and we're shopping it around to do a movie. Lonzo, you can put up the money, and we can do the movie.
I wish I could. Okay, I was thinking you go in your booth. Well, the booths put out enough money to make it happen. No, I'm just.
Well, it will happen. You know what they say. It's to be successful, you always want to use other people's money.
Oh, I want to use other people's money.
Let me ask you, Mike. Can I ask him how did you and SUGE mend your relationship?
Well, we had conversations obviously prior while we were opposite side, and I told him certain things would happen to him that ended up happening to him. And when he got out of jail after he declared bankruptcy, he reached out to me and asked if I would talk to him and help him out, and I said I would. And we've been close ever since.
I talked to SUGE twice in my life. We met in the early stages of Ruthless at the Lasman Hotel in Compton, and we had a brief conversation, and nothing happened. And then one day he was by my club at the restaurant. In fact, we got a picture together, and we never had much of a conversation. He was always an interesting dude that I knew all the people that he knew, but I knew him from a different angle.
Yeah.
I never walked in those, and I never did the gangbanging thing. In fact, everybody that was involved in that situation that he's in jail for right now, I knew all the players, Terry Carter, Bone, everybody. We all from the same neighborhood. I just was able to do something a little different.
It's a sad story all around, the stuff that happened. I did not know Terry Carter, but I know plenty of people that did. He was a great guy, and it's a sad situation. And the funny thing about it, right after it happened, I'm the first person he called.
Wow.
He called, and I got him a lawyer. And when you see the lawyer on YouTube that's surrendering him, that's Mike Klein that I introduced to him, that surrendered him.
Is David Kenner still around?
David Kenner's still around.
He's still practicing?
I think he is. Okay. We had, like I said at the beginning, I never had David Kenner reached out to me to try and negotiate, and called my lawyer. And he asked my lawyer, is it safe to come and meet with me?
Why do you think he asked you that question, Mike?
I have no idea. I guess some myths and misconceptions of me, but I'm a nice guy. You met me, Lonzo. I'm a nice guy.
I met you. We always had a smile on your face. Always shook my hand. I never felt intimidated. But something about you, Mike, you have a different kind of aura. It's not like it's like, okay, cool, whatever, okay. But it's like
I said, it's the stuff that you don't see, Alonzo.
It's the stuff that you don't see.
There it is. I have something from the audience, actually. Go ahead.
People ask me, how big were you? I said, no. I said, think about the guy from Scandal.
Well, let me put it
Jake,
this
right?
Yeah, Jake.
I'm 6'4". I'm 200 pounds. But when you stand next to Big Mike, You look like a midget.
Right. Okay. Big
But I'm
like,
not a small guy. I'm 6'4" and I'm 200 pounds.
okay.
I had 22 Gold Glove fights. I won every one of them, and 18 by knockout.
Okay. So he has a serious aura. Let's put it that way. Nice guy, smiles the whole 9 yards, but he has a serious aura. And some people just project that.
Man.
Let's put it this way. I've been through a lot in my life.
Okay.
I've been involved in shootouts. I've been involved in a lot of stuff in my life, and the stuff that was and the Ruthless record was just a minor part of my life. And obviously, EAZY was one of the finest persons out there. He was a genuine, very nice guy, very generous guy, and we became the best of friends. I mean, he listened to me, and we did what we did. And you know, I did the business deals that I think needed to be done. I think if I wouldn't have done those deals, I don't think Ruthless would be what it should have been and could have gone out of business.
Why do you think Tamika won't reactivate the label? Is there any reason?
I have no idea. You know, we were involved in some litigation, and I can't talk about that.
Okay.
But I don't know if most people know. Most people don't know, but Jerry was too, and I got him the lawyer that sued Ruthless, and he ended up settling and got a good chunk of money.
Right. Right. Now, how did Ron Sweeney come into play as a lawyer for Ruthless?
Well, Ron Sweeney came in at the last minute.
Okay.
Ron Sweeney was doing a video game that he wanted EAZY to be part of the game, and we negotiated a deal with him, and EAZY was about to do that. The other thing that people don't know is I had a deal for Eric, for a speaker deal, way before the beat. It was with a company called Aura Systems, who probably had the best speakers out there. And we signed a deal with them where they were going to make what's called a bass shaker and a speaker with EAZY's name and Ruthless Records on it.
Okay.
But EAZY, then he did a couple of tracks for them, but then he got sick and passed away. And the other people that I brought up to see the speakers was Jimmy Iovine. I took him up there, and then he ends up doing a deal with the Beats. With
Dre, yeah.
Yeah, right. But I introduced him initially to speakers.
Interesting. I'm glad you called me, Mike, because I'm working on some stuff right now. I'm trying to get a street named after EAZY in Compton, man. That's on my to-do list. I'm the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and I've been lobbying a couple of city councilmen to make this happen. So hopefully next year, in the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and I think we're gonna get it done.
I hope you do.
I would love to have you in the place when we make that happen, Doc.
Okay, sure. I will definitely be there, buddy.
Is Jake and John still around? What are they doing?
You know, Jake and John, I haven't talked to them for a while, but they went to work for the longshoremen. They're working on the dock somewhere.
Okay. Wow.
I talk to them every so often. They reach out to me, and I stay in touch once in a while. But I have not heard from them for a while. Yeah, I've been very quiet. I haven't talked too much of anybody.
I'm glad you reached out for us, though, Doc. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I thought it was time to straighten out some of these myths and conception and what happened or didn't happen out there.
What else you got? You want to straighten out?
Well, I think it's pretty much it. You know, how the business deals came about, what happened, and like I said, a lot of the stuff in the movie that they put the way they portrayed EAZY or Jerry was BS.
They had you in the movie, right?
No, they did not. They wouldn't, because I don't think they wanted to be sued. The only time they ever mentioned anything was somebody mentioned something about JDL.
Okay.
And
All right, right. Jerry got mad. So I'm gonna call my friends at the JDL.
Yeah.
That was the only mention, and I guess that was somehow mentioning me, because whenever JDL is mentioned, I think it refers to me.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of that stuff that was in the movie, Jerry stealing money or not, never happened. It didn't happen. It didn't get fired that way, you know. So those are just a lot of misconceptions of what happened.
Wow.
If you got any questions or anybody wants to ask,
yeah, we have a bunch. I mean, there's so many. I've been copying and pasting. A couple of people have named Toker and Kid Frost. Were you around during that time? And do you remember EAZY's relationship with them?
Toker was a good friend.
R.I.P.
Toker reached out to me a few months before he was killed to help somebody about some music things, but never happened. Yes, I was involved when Toker was there, and I knew Kid Frost, so I knew them all. I saw them all because I was there all the time.
Right. I'm trying to get
Toker was a friend.
Yeah, Toker was a different kind of dude. He was another no joke dude.
No, Toker was no joke dude.
So he was another. I met him over at when he went over to Triple X. I had a deal at Triple X Records, and that's where he and I connected over there. And him and Brownside and a few other acts I was working with at Triple X Records. Toker was another cool dude, just not to be messed with.
Toker was a good guy.
Okay.
He was a good friend and a good guy.
And you know, speaking of Toker, from interviews I've heard from him, when his real security wasn't around, he had like Toker's homies, and he had like certain dudes from the street roll with him to like Cheesecake Factory and things like that. You know, is that a true story to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, but I have to tell you, EAZY, you know, as much as I wanted to send guys with him, EAZY wanted to go all by himself. You know, he wasn't afraid of anybody.
Nope.
You know, he was not afraid of anybody. You know, I always wanted to send my guys with him, and he says, no, send them with Jerry. Jerry always had him with them. But EAZY didn't want him. You know, he like I said, EAZY was small in stature with a lot in guts. Okay,
you know,
he was.
Go ahead.
He was no pushover.
One thing I can say about EAZY was like he was a hood favorite. You know, everybody knew he was legitimate. He was well respected, and I don't think he had the same. He wasn't like the guys out now that people look in the jacket because they got a doing so much. You know, EAZY would come to my house and hang out with no security on a regular basis. When EAZY,
like I'm telling you, you know how many times I wanted to send people with him. He said to me, "No, don't need it, Mike. You know, if I need it, I'll call you." But we did go. You know, I did take them all shooting because the people that he had there prior to my guys, they knew how to hold a gun, but that was about it. Okay. You know, having a gun and shooting a gun are two different things.
Yeah. It's a big difference.
You know, I took him shooting. I took all of them shooting. I took him, gave him a little lesson on how to get more accuracy on shooting a gun. So we did that. And me and EAZY went out shooting quite often. He loved that.
Wow.
Nice.
Hey.
Couple people wanted to know, did you have any safety issues regarding EAZY being around gang members, specifically on the set of Real Compton City G's?
No, because they were all, they loved them. But we did have some security on the videos and stuff. That kind of stuff, we did have security. But we didn't have any issues because all those people loved EAZY. I mean, you had a mob of people that would have protected them.
Right.
So I don't think you would have had any issues over there, even though we did have security on those video shoots. We did. We insisted on it, but we never had any issues.
Wow. Okay.
But he was loved. But he was loved by the people in the street. I mean, EAZY was loved.
Yeah, he had a different kind of vibe about him when it came to hanging out in the streets. He was, he was a regular dude. He knew who he was. He was a regular dude, but he wasn't trying to floss on nobody. And I think that's one of the big things a lot of artists don't understand. EAZY stayed regular. He had his money. He stayed regular. He was a regular dude. He wasn't trying to be out here overly false.
The funny part.
Go ahead.
The funny part about it, when I got involved, I had no idea who EAZY was or N.W.A was or anybody else. I had no clue. But I found out very quickly that how popular they were. Listen, when EAZY was at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, there was more phone calls that went in to the hospital that Lucia Ball got. So it gives you an indication. I mean, he got more phone calls than Lucia Ball did.
They said they shut down, they jammed up the whole switchboard.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. During the Ruthless Death Row beef, Mr. Klein, what were some of the fights and things that happened that you weren't necessarily part of? Like, there's this big one on YouTube that happened at a golf course. It's on YouTube, and like Nate Dogg is seen swinging a golf club at, I think it was BG Knockout. What were some of the things that the guys were getting involved with that you necessarily weren't around, but you heard about?
There was a lot of stuff that I wasn't around for. That was beef between the artists that I had no clue about. I had my job to do to keep the business going, to keep Eric alive and Jerry alive, which I did very well, and the other stuff was just stuff that was, that was none of my concern. Okay. The thing was to make sure that people were able to conduct business. When I got involved, Jerry would not come to the office, and neither would Gary. They would conduct business out of a hotel. They were afraid to come to the office.
Why?
Oh, because of, certain threats and intimidation, and they didn't feel safe.
I got a question for you. Does somebody that's really out to get you call you and threaten you, or they just do it?
No. If they do, then you can take it as a bunch of BS, Right. Somebody's going to do something to you is not going to tell you that they're going to do something to you.
Right. I've never understood why a threat would be so threatening. Usually,
because you're dealing with people that are not aware of that. So when you have people that are not aware of these type of situations, and somebody threatens them or shows them a gun, they freak out. And this is not a normal course of business. Jerry was not used to that. Gary was not used to that. So when somebody's confronted with something like that, they react to it differently. I don't blame them. Most people are not used to having threats or somebody showing them a gun or telling them that something's going to happen to them. But, the reality is 99% if somebody's going to tell you they're going to do something, it's just a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
If something's going to happen to you, then nobody's going to tell you about it.
Most gangsters don't advertise being gangsters. They just...
That's exactly it. If somebody's going to do something, then I'm going to tell you about it.
Right. Dusty, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you give us an idea, Mr. Klein, of what it goes into protecting someone like an EAZY when he does want security?
Well, like I said, you have security that you see, and you have security in a perimeter that you would never see and never know about it until something happens. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's security around you that you see the bodyguard, and that's for intimidation factor. Okay? So you have bodyguards that do what they do. Okay? But then you have people that you don't see and you would never see until you needed to see them, okay? And those are the people that would handle whatever situation needs to be handled, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay,
but you would never know they're there. You'd never see them until you needed to see them.
And it's too late.
So it's probably, if you did see them, it's the last thing you'd see.
Damn. Ooh. That sounds like that hurts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, Mike, if you had
Well,
to,
you have people that, you have security, and the security with big guys, intimidation, and an intimidation factor only. And it's a psychological thing. You look at these guys and you say, fuck, I'm not going to even try, okay? And that's the way you want to have it. But if something does happen, you want to have your backup situation in a way that you can control the situation. You don't have a situation that you're not 100% sure that you can control at all times, okay? And that's what makes good security, okay? You can have security and you can have people fighting and doing, no, you want to be able to control the situation in whatever means necessary, okay? So that means you see stuff and you don't see stuff. And the stuff you don't see is what you have to worry about.
now I got a quick question for you. If you had to give some advice to some of these new guys that's out here doing whatever they do, what would you say to them from a security standpoint?
I'd say don't be foolish and stay safe. I mean, these people out there today are crazy and they shoot each other for no reason. I mean, it's absolutely bizarre. But you have to protect yourself. And protect yourself, if you're going to put yourself in a situation where the only thing I can say, try to avoid these situations and wear some body armor, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Man.
He didn't wear a lot of jewelry, did he?
No.
That was not a big thing for the N.W.A. They had fat gold chains, but they didn't really wear them that much, only on album covers.
No, EAZY never did. He was very low key. I mean, he was low key in some instance and not another. When it came to his women, he was not low key.
Okay.
And he had plenty of them.
Okay.
Man, this one has popped up a few times, and please hit that like button, guys. We have almost 90 people in the building. Mike Klein is dropping some gems tonight. It's maybe a tail end of the question we talked about earlier, but they say, ask Mike Klein about the FBI raiding Ruthless Records after EAZY passing away because artists and unsigned artists were stealing master recordings.
Never happened.
Never happened. Talk to us.
It never happened.
Never happened.
Where did they get this shit from?
What happened? So I don't know. This stuff. Well, I'll tell you what happened was when EAZY died. Obviously, there was some litigation commencing, and I came to the office one morning, and the locks were changed, and there was Nation of Islam guys at the place, but obviously you know me and nobody stops me from going where I want to go. And but the door was locked. The landlord came and said nobody is going to go into the office until the courts decide what's going to happen. We had some court hearings. The court hearing, they put a receiver in, and somebody else was running Ruthless until ended up being resolved.
Wow. Okay.
Why do you think people?
The FBI never raided the office. The FBI had interviews, which one of them was with me. Okay. I was interviewed by the FBI regarding that. I went up there with my lawyer, and it was a funny question. The FBI, the first thing he asked me was, am I part of the Mossad? And I was kind of threw me off guard. And my answer to him, I said, I'm flattered that you think so. But if I was, do you think I can tell you? And that was the end of that.
Okay.
Damn.
We were interviewed by the FBI. I went up there with my lawyer, and they asked certain questions, and that was a bizarre question that they asked me, which, I mean, came out of left field. I couldn't believe they would ask me something like that, but they did. I don't know if you know what Mossad is.
No, tell us about that.
I've heard it, and I know. Explain it, please.
Mossad is Israeli intelligence. It's like the CIA.
Okay.
It's like the CIA is really Mossad, and some people have said that I belong to Mossad. There's all these articles and stuff that said that I belong to Mossad. And the FBI asked if I was, and my answer to them was, if I was, do you think I can tell you? And that was the end of that.
Fair enough. This is a good one. In the Chop wants to know, did Suge Knight really pull up to Jerry's house?
What do you mean pull up to Jerry's house? I can tell you that somebody broke into Jerry's house.
That's probably from the movie, right? I think that's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. But no, somebody broke into Jerry's house and left some messages on his mirror. Jerry was all freaked out about it. Nothing happened there. We don't know who, what, or how. And I don't even know if it was related to Suge or anybody else. Okay? So we came and investigated. There was nothing, it could have been a gardener for all we know, but there was nothing really there. Nothing really happened. And then since that day on, he wouldn't go home, he didn't go home without some of my guys with him to check the house thoroughly before he went in.
I've been to Jerry's house. I've been to Dre's house. I've been to Eric's house.
Jerry
and the Eric's house is right down the street from each other, like 4 or 5 houses down the street.
Correct.
And you can't get in there. You got to go to security guards just to get in the gate. So if you went through there, you had to go mountain climbing to get to Jerry's house.
Correct.
You had to go mountain climbing for real. I know somebody with the cold.
Jerry was freaked out though. He was scared, and I don't blame him. But it's not his life, and it's not what he does. So he was scared, but we helped alleviate that. And we helped him. I had Mike with him all the time, and you couldn't get a better bodyguard than Mike.
Big Mike.
Was with him. Yeah, Big Mike.
Jesus has a great question. Oh, keep going. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jesus has a great question. Can you ask Mike Klein about the JDL offering EAZY protection after getting death threats from the skinheads?
No, it didn't happen with me. When they refer to JDL, they're referring to me.
Okay.
When people refer to the JDL, they're referring to me, even though I brought the head of the Jewish Defense League and a couple of other guys to meet EAZY. EAZY wanted to do a story and a movie about them, but they were not involved in any of this situation. There were stories out there that we were extorting EAZY and Tupac and stuff like that. It's on the internet. That's a bunch of BS.
Why would skinheads have a problem with EAZY?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Jewish Defense League, but the Jewish Defense League doesn't just defend Jewish people. We plenty of time when I was involved went to defense of Black people in Camp Pendleton because of Ku Klux Klan and Nazi members. So the Jewish Defense League they were set up to protect Jewish people from anti-Semitism, but they also help minorities and Blacks in situations all the time.
Okay.
So, there's a very famous story that we went down to Camp Pendleton to deal with this situation where Ku Klux Klan members and Nazis were picking on Black soldiers, and we came and helped them.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah. It was quite a few years. It was in late 70s or the early 80s.
Wow. Okay.
This name came up a few times in the comments tonight. Does he have any good cold 187 stories from above the law?
I do not. Hutch was a friend. We saw him there, but we never discussed anything but business. There was one funny story that I can tell you about Bone. That's hilarious.
Please.
So, Bones, we rented him a house in Northridge, and we got a phone call once. Two of the Bone guys were brothers, Okay. And Stanley was crazy bone, was fighting with the other guys and firing some shots at them at the house. So I went out there with some of the security guys, and we took the gun away from him, and we took him to this hospital to be evaluated. And this was in Pasadena. So it's me, his mother, Animal, Mike, and Stanley. And we take him to the hospital. And this is the funniest story that that nobody knows about. But, you know, when you go into these mental institutions to get somebody evaluated, it's like a bank teller, and they have this plexiglass.
Okay.
And you go and say, well, we want to have this person evaluated. And they said, well, you have to sit outside. We'll send a doctor out. The doctor comes out. He asks Stanley a few questions, and he says, okay, we'll bring him in. But the way they bring him in, they send the sheriffs out and handcuff him to bring him in. So they told the sheriff to go out there and bring him in. But the sheriff looked through the plexiglass, and he didn't know who he needed to bring in. He thought it was Animal or Mike that he was bringing in, okay? So you can hear him in the background in his dispatch. He says, hey, I need some guys. I'm not going out there alone. So they say, well, how many guys do you need? He says, I need at least 50 to 100 guys. So what are you talking about? And I heard that. And he says, I said, hey, I heard what you said, but it's not these guys that you have to bring in. It's this guy. And he said, oh, God, thank God I wanted to go home tonight. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Shout out Easy Steve for that donation. Thank you so much. He says, do you think there is any good unreleased EAZY music out there?
There might be. You know, there might be. I know EAZY did some tracks for this Bay Shaker. There might be some tracks out there. I don't know where they are. I wouldn't have a clue. And if they are, they should go out. I mean, none of his stuff should stay on unreleased. Everything that he did should be released.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Was Dre there when you were there? Dre left, and then that's when you were brought in after the fact.
No, Dre was still coming in. He was still doing work when I was there.
Now, what was the tone? What was the tone, overall tone, when Dre was there and then decided to leave?
Well, you know, I was trying to be very professional. When I was there, I had no problem with Dre. Okay. You know, I like Dre. Dre's very, very smart guy and very talented guy. We had no issues. My issue was the way things are being done. If you want to conduct business, you want to leave, do it the legal way. Don't come there with guns and threats. You do it the legal way. And that's what I made sure that would happen, that nobody would do this in a non-ethical, non-legal way. Okay? If you have a beef, you have a problem, do it the legal way. Okay? And that's what I made sure that would happen. And that's what did happen. And we ended up, obviously, Dre was not going to do anything there anymore. So the best business decision to be done was to do a deal with Interscope where Eric and Ruthless would make money for everything that Dre did.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got a bunch of money. And, you know, there was some issues that we had to deal with after the fact and need to deal with Jimmy about it because we felt that there was stuff being done and not credited to Dr. Dre to avoid paying EAZY. And we made issues out of that with Jimmy Iovine, and that was resolved because Jimmy thought he was being sued, going to be sued. But that was resolved. There was another one of my doing.
Okay.
So there was a lot of things that happened that nobody knows about, the mechanics of stuff and how it happened. You know, all these deals and the deals that were being made, that nobody has a clue how these deals were being made. And how do you do a deal with with RED or Sony when you have a deal in place with Priority Records with Brian Turner. So these things don't happen in a vacuum. You know, certain things have to be done before you can do these deals, which I did.
Okay. Man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, B41, for the donation, the $10 donation as well. This question has popped up in some form of another throughout the night. From your point of view, what was Eazy-E's relationship like with Tamika before his passing?
Well, let's say that Eric had a lot of girlfriends, okay? That's the only thing I can tell you about that. Did I ever think he was going to get married? I didn't think so. It's my opinion, okay?
Okay. I agree with you.
There was, when I was involved, he was crazy about this girl, Jasmine, okay?
Okay.
I think her name was Jasmine. I forget, but he had a lot of girlfriends.
Interesting.
Did he have a type? A couple of people were asking if he had a type, or did he just like all flavors of the rainbow?
I don't think he had a type.
He was Skittle Man. He liked them all.
If they walked, there was his type.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very close to one of his one of his daughters, Vivi and Tracy. I'm very close to them.
All right, cool.
Matter of fact, I talk to them all the time.
We make this move, I'm gonna reach out for you to make sure they attend this situation. We're gonna make this happen some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah, keep me posted, buddy. If you ever got any questions or you never got anything answered, just feel free to let out.
You got it. Mike, man, it's been a great interview, dude. You dropped a lot of knowledge. You cleared up a lot of misconceptions, and I appreciate you reaching out for me and doing this show, man.
Thank you, buddy. Take care, both of you, okay?
Much love to you.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right, have a good one, dude.
You,
Mike Klein,
Take
folks.
care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
you.
Bye.
Now you got
interview of the century, Lonzo.
Well, I gotta stick my chest out, and that's why they call me the Godfather.
Thank you.
I know where the bodies are buried. I was there, and I had shovels.
Toot, motherfucker. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
And I always learned something new about you, man. I never knew you had a relationship with Toker from Brownside, dog.
Yeah, man. Toker, Mellow Man Ace. We was all of us. Well, not Toker so much, but damn, I just talked about him. The first Kid Frost, thank you. Kid Frost, Mellow Man Ace, Kid Frost and I started off together back in the day. Mellow Man Ace became very cool with us. And then when they all went to the Brownside and Toker did a deal over at Triple X Records where we did 2 Dre compilations. That's where we all became affiliated. Unknown worked with everybody in more detail than I did, but I knew them all. Unknown worked with Toker up close and personal as well as Kid Frost. And but again, we were all over at doing music over at Triple X Records, and that was a different time. That was like 84, 85, man. It just was a different world, dude. We had a lot of fun, man. Made a lot of money back then.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you for letting me be involved with this interview. It was a pleasure. And before we go, I want to ask everybody one more time before we go, please hit that like button. That's so important to our channel. And if this is your first time, once again, we hit 100 people. I want to introduce you to the godfather of hip hop, Alonzo Williams. A lot of shit would not be possible. West Coast. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little excited. The godfather of West Coast hip hop. A lot of shit would not be possible right now for this man. If you don't know the name Alonzo Williams, just Google it, type it in YouTube, go down that rabbit hole, and please hit that subscribe button and definitely share this show. And please follow my show as well, Dusty Vision TV, right here on YouTube, Dusty Vision TV.
And I got a question. Just got to hit the chat room.
Go for it.
Didn't think in the chat asked me did I produce any yellow porn? No, I didn't produce any yellow porn. But it happened at your spot, right? Yellow rented the studio in the very beginning and to shoot his porn scenes. In fact, one of my walls is still painted the same color from back in the day because we would take the furniture and just rearrange it, put a different color wall behind it, and have some girls and guys do what they gonna do. And I still got one of them couches too.
Ooh. You know what? There's questions. Chris wants to know if Lonzo, did Unknown DJ rob artists for their publishing?
I won't speak on that. Me and Unknown had a conversation about that recently. According to, in fact, me and 8 had a conversation about that. And 8 feels that he was taken advantage of, and I was not involved in that stuff. I can't speak on it. I won't speak on it because then my goddamn business. But according to 8, if you watch Gangster Chronicles, yes. Okay.
There's so many. You have a few minutes to answer a few questions, or you want to bounce?
Go ahead.
I mean, there's a couple. In the Chop asked earlier, he's been supporting throughout the show. He said, was that Michelle on the Turn Out the Lights song? We've talked about this, but give him a breakdown.
Michelle's first her recording debut. The song was written for Mona Lisa, who sang our song Lovers with us and a few other songs. But that was Michelle's on the song Turn Out the Lights.
There you go. Skrilla says, Alonzo, y'all did Bounty Hunter BJ like that? We've had BJ on the show as well. Break it down.
We had BJ on the show, have we?
Well, BJ's been on the show, man. Yeah. There's an interview about a year ago. You talked. Yeah, so it came out that World Class Wrecking Crew whooped his ass, and then I'm almost positive. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure we've had BJ on the show.
All right. Well, you know what? As time goes on, sometimes things get a little bit embellished a little bit. We wasn't no punks, and we wasn't no punks, but we went out there beating up on folks on a regular basis. But we did our thing when we had to. That's why they call us the Wrecking Crew. Let's put it like that.
Yep. Bounty Hunter. Wait, is Lonzo talk about? Oh no, wait. No, we talked about it though. Yeah, we've definitely discussed it a few times, and he talked about it on a big platform that you took a boot to his head. That was
unknown. That wasn't me.
That was Unknown. There it is.
Unknown had a grudge with him because they pushed Unknown through a window. Unknown got pushed through a window. We had a barbershop. Eve was on 2 floors on the second floor. And Unknown had a bad habit of talking to people before they got into it. And I guess one dude got tired of him talking and just shoved him through the goddamn window. And it was right. We just opened the club up. We had just opened the club up. And he shoved him right through the goddamn barbershop window, man. And fucked up the window. I thought we was going to get canceled. But we told the old man it was some other shit. And the old man, he knew that shit like that does happen. He gave us a pass on it. But yeah, I know he had it out for him after that one.
Damn. I know a lot of you guys are here for the first time. So once again, if you like just those little bit of stories that you heard, just check out the archives, man. Lonzo has so many stories about EAZY, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube. He was around before they were N.W.A. He groomed a lot of these cats. He had a group with Dr. Dre and Yella called World Class Wrecking Crew. Turn Out the Lights, huge hit. So if you don't know, now you know. Go down that rabbit hole, check out the videos in the archives, and I promise you, you will be entertained. Anything else, Lonzo?
Man, I think I'm good, dude. I'm really
good. I'm good. I had a great night. That was a great interview, and yeah, man. Everyone's saying Michelle still looks good. Does she?
Yeah, she looked a lot better.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
She claims she has had due to one of her physical altercations, she had to get her nose redone, and it's she slimmed down a little bit and she looks good. She looks good.
Does she have? Is there an affliction with her voice, or how is her voice like that? Do you know? Have you ever heard the story about that?
When she doesn't project, it closes up and it makes her voice go high pitched like that. I've heard her explain it before, but it's a natural speaking voice. It doesn't something about the larynx or whatever does not push air out to the same level that it does for her singing voice, and that's what gives her that big voice. It works for her. What can you say?
Yeah, well, there it is, man. Great night, dude.
Yes, it was, man. Lonzo, what part of Compton are you from? Man, I am from all over Compton. I was born off of Wilmington.
Do your thing. I'm down to chill for a minute if you want to. I just got to go use the restroom real quick. You down to hang out, or are you gonna be calling it a night soon?
Go ahead. I'm gonna come back. Go. We'll
all right, cool. Do your thing. Keep talking.
I was born on Wilmington and Compton Boulevard on the street called Magnolia. I left there and moved just outside of Compton on Carlton Avenue for years. That's why I went to Vanguard, Centennial, St. Albert's, and all the Campanella Park and everything like that. So I'm from Compton, but I haven't stayed in Compton in quite some time. But I am very active in Compton. We see like Joe Jackson and the Jackson 5. My opinion, Lonzo should have been at the Super Bowl. I was at the Super Bowl. I was there. I was at the Super Bowl when Dre stood on the Eve After Dark roof and performed with the folks. I was there for the halftime show. It wasn't because of Dre, but it was a very interesting situation. And man, I sit there. I was very proud of that whole day. My feet did not touch the ground the rest of the day, man. You could have gave me. I could have been more happy if I got a Super Bowl ring that day. That's how happy I was. So to see my building, the building that I ran for 6 years, I put on the map, and him reintroduced it to the universe like that. That was a hell of a thing. Oh yeah, dude, and much love for Sinbad. I met that brother at the Sinbad at the NAM show about 3 years ago. And he pulled up on me. He would drive one of them scooters. He said he got bad knees because he played a lot of basketball. Sinbad, a tall dude, like 6'5", 6'6". And he pulled up on me on a scooter. And I was always a Sinbad fan. I liked him because of the fact he didn't have to cuss to get his point across, and he was a funny dude. And I just saw he's learning to walk again, And when you get to be my age, all that shit that happens to other people, you start doing more push-ups, more running, and eating different for fear that shit could happen to you. So that's why I get up and run on Sundays. I walk on Sundays. I walk 3 or 4 times a week. I don't eat certain shit. I don't let people stress me out. And, I hope that God blesses me to continue being in good health. That Sinbad thing ain't no joke. My dad had a stroke, so I know what it will do to you.
Man, thank you, OG Steve, as well, for that $5. Says salute, Lonzo and Dusty. Allerton in the house, Bronx, man. Shout out to my dude. He's such a good, awesome supporter and a good friend. They will not understand, says he's probably new, but we've talked about this. But why did you make Dr. Dre wear makeup on that album cover, Lonzo?
I ain't make no motherfucker wear shit. Okay, I keep telling y'all that shit. I ain't never made a motherfucker do nothing. Nigga, that's your option. Look. For the 200,000th time in this lifetime, back in the 80s, don't just grab my album cover, grab something by Midnight Star, grab More Standard Time, grab a Prince album, grab a Michael album. Niggas did shit different. Okay, we was not trying to impress no brothers on nothing. We was trying to get laid. Okay. Ain't nobody make nobody wear nothing. Everybody had a choice to what they want to do. Now I paid for the shit. I paid for all their costumes. Anybody had no money but me. Okay. So he wanted a white doctor smock. He already had a doctor smock. It's a picture with him wearing a white doctor smock, a regular cloth doctor smock. And we did our album cover. He wanted a sequence. I had a sequence jacket on. It's sitting right over here. Okay. I still got my jacket. He had
Try putting it on. Just kidding.
I can't do nothing. I can probably wear it as a condom, but I can't put this bitch on. They got a better chance of being a condom than me wearing it. But there was never anybody forced. Now, niggas will try to tell you, oh, man, Lonzo made us do this, Lonzo made, just to take it off of them because they want to protect their images. Nah, man. Nah. I had on eyeliner, okay? I'm gonna cop to that shit. All right, nigga, I ain't ashamed of what I did. Okay, I ain't wearing no fucking dress though. Okay, I ain't wearing no goddamn dress. I ain't painting my fingernails. Y'all need to check that shit. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay, look at some of your homies right now and leave me the fuck alone. Okay, these niggas are wearing dresses and all kind of shit. All right, miss me with that bullshit. Okay, my Jerry curl and my eyeliner, nigga. Y'all got us beat by a long shot. Okay. Y'all got us beat by long fingernail polish. Niggas wearing lead press on nails, eyeliner, whatever else they do. Come on, man. Come on. Kissing no dudes. Come on. Okay. You can't undo that shit.
You can take some eyeliner off, huh?
I wash my face and I'm back to where I was. Negro, you've been stamped for life. Okay. So when them cats get old, they get my age. Why was you kissing that dude back in 2022? Why was you wearing a dress? Why was you wearing high heels? Why was y'all ask them goddamn questions, okay? And nobody even trip on that shit nowadays. They still ask me about eyeliner and shit like that. When right in the modern day artists are super feminine. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't want to get canceled.
Couple other questions. Let's see. D Young says Lonzo can't front. Your curl was fly.
It was
fly.
Luxurious. What the fucking word you used, sir? It was luxurious. Okay?
So was it like Coming to America, where like if you sat in the back of a chair and you got up, there was you fucking.
I tell you, if you really want to know how bad a Jerry curl was, if you laid your head on your pillow and roll and change sides and put your face on your pillow, your eyes would turn red in the motherfucker.
Oh,
that shit would burn the shit out your eye. Jerry curls were damn near a weapon, dude. If you get Jerry curl juice on your hand, you could damn near blind somebody. Okay, you must want to get into a fight with somebody and they get some Jerry curl juice in your eye, nigga. You got tear gas. Okay, you finna win that fight. Fight over. Fight over, because you can't see nothing. Your eyes finna water like a son of a gun, and that was the horrible part about that goddamn Jerry curl.
Damn, that's funny, dude. Hey, I am Big Boss 0969 says, how did you end up with Mona Lisa and who produced the 1983 album? Plus, what was that time like for music in 1983?
I met Mona Lisa through Bobby Jimmy, Russ Parr, Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. And then Arabian Prince was working with her and Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. And he told me about this singer they had worked with. And she had an ass that was so big, she could put stretch marks on leather pants. Okay, that's what he told me.
Damn.
She got
let me Google her while you're talking. I'm gonna Google her while you're talking.
She can put stretch marks on leather pants. And I said, I got to meet this singer. And sure enough, she can put stretch marks on leather pants. And that's how she became the singer. And she can sing her ass off. Okay. She's a professional singer. She sings for real. Bob Dylan, Kashif, all kind of.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. Yes, she is.
She got heat with her. Okay.
Damn. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see here. What do we got?
You nasty. I know y'all thinking, yeah, I did. Okay, that's my girl.
Let's see. What do we have here? Hold on. Yes.
I said I did. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, this is nice. What are you thankful for? Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. I like that. I'm thankful that I'm here tonight with all of you guys, man. I'm thankful I'm breathing. I'm thankful I'm healthy.
I thank God I'm healthy. I think my family's healthy, man. I think I'm a free man. I got a few dollars. I can do what the fuck I want to do. Okay. My kids are all free. They all healthy. My grandkids. I mean, as you get older, man, you start looking back. It ain't about you no more. You know, it stopped being about you. It'd be about the ones that's coming up behind you, because you don't want to feel that pain. That's why I do hood peace, man. Mm-hmm. That's why I do hood peace. You know, it don't take shit for that pain to hit your house, man. So I try to do what I can for everybody, not just my own house, everybody, man. I'm thankful for the day, tomorrow, because tomorrow ain't promised. Every day you get, I'm thankful for, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm thankful for Dusty, because I probably wouldn't do this show the same way if Dusty wasn't doing it. I know me. I probably wouldn't do it. Dusty takes time out to edit these shows and chop them up in the clips. I know people didn't go watch an hour and 23 minutes worth of show. Mike Klein and nobody else, but Dusty would sit down and cut this shit up and make it happen. And I'm thankful for Dusty.
And you know what? I'm gonna return the favor. I'm not good at taking compliments, so I gotta shoot it right back to you. Thank you for having me on this show. I'm thankful for the game you spit, man. Real talk. I'm thankful for the stories you share, and I learned a lot of stuff from you, man. I've said this in the past. I learned a lot of stuff from you, and I know the audience out there does too. And that's the number one thing I'm thankful for, is that we're actually keeping this stuff around, and this is gonna be around long before when you and I are both gone. This is still gonna be here. But let's not get too sappy. Let's keep moving on. Wilmington Archive Records. Oh shit! Shout out to Tony A. Shout out Lonzo from Rhodium Radio. Good Rhodium Radio. Talk to us about Rhodium Radio, man.
Man, that's
shout out Tony A.
Tony A. The cool Latino brother, man, out of Wilmington. He's been around forever. He rocked Steve with Steve Yano at the Rhodium Radio at Rhodium.
R.I.P.
And he didn't know how Steve got into the hip hop game. And I hate to sound like I did everything, but I did a lot of shit. Okay. And when me and Steve got hooked up, it just was one of them things. Steve had eventually, I don't know when Tony came with Steve, but it was a thing where Steve would have Dre, EAZY, all of them at the swap meet. I had been buying records from Steve before, but I didn't know Steve from a business aspect. Okay. So when I was out there selling bootlegs up the ass, Steve walked up on me, wanted to buy something. I wouldn't sell them to him. I didn't really recognize him from the swap meet. Okay. And it just, it was one of them things where I thought it was the FBI or something trying to bust my ass. I'm like, nah, I ain't going to prison today. And anyway, dude, I was with co-sign for him, and we was tight up until the day he died, man. Much love to Steve Yano, and much love to Tony A for Rhodium Radio.
Yeah, Tony A is still doing his thing. And much love to the audience out there, man. We hit 100 people tonight, and we're still, we got a bot in the building. I'm trying to get out. These damn bots be hitting us up. Skrilla One, how about Godfather of LA hip hop? The West Coast is the Bay too. Yeah, I don't know. Godfather of West Coast hip hop all around, right? Who are some of the people in the Bay, Lonzo, or who are some of the other people when you were younger or doing your thing that you heard about also, like maybe doing in the Bay Area? I know Too Short was selling stuff out of his trunk, around the same time. Who are some of the other people who are doing it along with you were?
When I met Too Short a few years back, I introduced myself. I said, hey, man, I'm Lonzo. Nigga, I know who the fuck you are, dude. You Lonzo, world-class record group. You was my motherfucking hero. You the one that got me to sell the shit out the fucking trunk. Okay? Adrian Gregory, who was Tupac's manager and the manager for Digital Underground, worked with me for years as an intern for free. So a lot of cats a lot of game got to and Adrian is from Vallejo. A lot of West Coast game that I discovered and invented or created got spilled up into the Bay Area through Adrian. Adrian know everybody. So a lot of cats, I didn't know Mac Dre. I never met E40, but a lot of the stuff that we did here in the West Coast got to them through that vessel, which was Adrian Gregory.
Yeah, I know this question. I probably know the answer to this question, but Deco says, Lonzo, do you or did you have any associations with the LA Underground, like the Good Life Cafe, Freestyle Fellowship, etc.?
Not a whole lot. I knew B Hall.
That was after your a little bit after, right?
I was kind of out of the thing I've never been totally out of it, but that was a different vibe for me. My thing was when I was most popular. Dance music was the shit. We was always dancing, trying to make people dance. And the stuff they did at the Good Life, it was very culturally funky. It had some great lyrics, but it wasn't dance music for me. I would go by there from time to time, but I wouldn't stay no time. But I became good friends with B Hall, who was the lady who actually ran the Good Life. So that was my connection to the Good Life.
Oh wow, is she still around by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be an amazing show.
I'll call her up. No problem.
Dude, let's make that happen. Oh, that when I was a kid, 14, the Good Life was everything, man. Especially if you're a hip hop nerd. Oh man.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll remind you behind the scenes. Dope. You want to keep going, or should we just call it a night, man? And
we got it's almost 7:30. Let's do another minute and a half. We can wrap it up.
Hey, Dusty, can y'all try to get BG Knockout on the show? We will try, right? But do you know BG Knockout personally?
And I got BG Knockout's number someplace. Hold on a second there. I met him at an event. Let me see if I still got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, he's in Vegas. Yep. That's it right there.
We definitely got to try to get him on.
Yeah, I'll make that connect.
What was Suge's occupation when you first met him?
When I first met Suge, when I first met him, he was running Ruthless. I didn't know him before that. He was just started. When I first met him at Compton, they had just formed Ruthless. He was still bodyguarding for DOC, and that's when I first met him. They hadn't really formed Ruthless yet, or it was they hadn't dropped anything yet. Put it that way. It may have been formed, but it hadn't dropped yet.
Let's see, Rashard, tell Lonzo to get Tariq Nasheed. He has done 2 interviews with him already.
Yeah, I got Tariq Nasheed's number, and he and I.
You've been on Tariq's show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I'll reach out for it. Not a problem.
Okay. Cool. Let's see.
Right quick, people y'all want to hear from.
Yeah, please do that, actually. Yeah, because 2023, we're trying to turn it up. And please just support this channel, man. I know we're a slow-growing channel, but if you guys share and like and subscribe and tell a friend about this channel, that's the best thing you could do. Let me see. Silk says, Lonzo, you earn the right to pop your collar. I have to agree with that person.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Matt Tree says, what about Toddy T?
Todd, I'm gonna reach out for Todd. Todd did my show before once already. He came by the house and did the show.
Yeah. There's a great interview with Toddy T, actually.
Toddy did my show years ago. When I first started doing, I was still having people come to the house. Todd came by the pad and did the show. I'll reach out for him again. He think I'm mad at him. I ain't mad at him.
Deco says, Lonzo, could you talk about the Budweiser Superfest back in the day?
I never went.
Yeah, that was more of my. Yeah, that was probably the mid to late 90s, I think, right? Wasn't it?
I didn't go to a lot of concerts. Period, man. I was always locked up in clubs. I had the after party, baby. I didn't worry about going to the concert. I did the after party. I've been to more concerts this year than I have in a long time. Yeah.
There it is.
More concerts this year than I have in a long time. I've been to 2 concerts in the last couple of weeks, just alone. Shit.
Well, tell everybody while we're in the building, tell everybody about your book and some upcoming events that you have going on.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. I got some shit. I'm going to show y'all right. If I could pull up a picture right quick. I got these jackets, these Wrecking Crew jackets being made. It's going to be a tacky, semi-tacky display of the jacket.
While you're doing that, maybe you can answer Ray Brown's question. Did you ever meet Rendezvous?
Oh, yeah. Rendezvous. Yeah. You want to talk to him? I got his number. I'll bring him up. I'll get it. He's supposed to do the show a couple of times, but he has a regular job he works on the days we do our show. So it's hard for him to get off at the time we do our show.
If I got a fat girl on my jock. I got a fat girl on my jock.
Okay.
Ray Brown knows that song.
If I can get this thing here, hold on there. Y'all can't get a good look of it.
We can't see it. That's the jacket?
That's a jacket. That's the back of it. We got a Wrecking Crew jacket coming out for 2023. So our old album cover with me, Dre, yelling clientele on the back and a big world-class star on the front. I'll be singing those shortly, Doc. So we got the book is N.W.A. N.W.A. Lonzo is on Amazon. Audio book, if you want to kick back and listen to the audio book, is also on Audible. We do this every week, y'all. I got t-shirts. Go to my website, lonzowilliams.com. Download my app. I'm also the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing all kind of shit in Compton, folks. I just honored AutoZone today. So I'm doing all kind of hip-hop and community shit. Yes, I'm hanging out with Karen Bass, the new mayor.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's dope.
I'm on some next level shit, y'all. So follow me. Go to my app. It's called the Compton ENT Chamber app, Compton Entertainment Chamber app on iPhone and Android, folks. We're doing some next level shit. Some next level shit for 2023, folks. Come on.
And give them your Instagram also, your Instagram.
All right. My Instagram is Real Lonzo N.W.A. Real Lonzo N.W.A. And it's all good. And Ren, I ain't seen an interview on Ren yet, but that hoodie thing, I'm working that hoodie too. You got a good idea, Doc. I'm working that hoodie. That'll work.
That'll be a good one. All right, man. Always a pleasure, dude. Thursdays, once again, before we go, Thursdays, usually every Thursday. Tell them about your Dr. Dre show as well.
Actually, me and Dre moved it to Friday, man, because I've been
Friday.
so busy Thursday. We had to start doing the show on Fridays, and last week I missed the show altogether. So I was just that damn busy. But this Friday, we'll be rocking with my man Dr. Dre and Miss B, Miss Bernadette out there in Mississippi. It's called Legendary Connects with Lonzo and Dr. Dre featuring Miss Bernadette, folks. Thank y'all for watching like y'all always do. Much love for everybody. Drop something in the chat room. And I'm going to pop my collar and going to find me some meat right quick, folks.
Peace, man.
Dusty, much love to you. We out.
Always.